welcome to Get It Girl with Gina
and Susan. Hey. Oh my gosh. So we've got quite a story for you all today.
We had a fun weekend.
We did. It was very productive. I mean, we had some concerns, but it was very productive overall. So one of the times that I was here with Gina and we were filming one of our episodes and everything like that and having a business meeting, she got a text from
my hairdresser, Julie, who has seen us model in your calendar. That is another episode, but she knows, you know, we're not shy and we love the camera. So she texted me and asked if Susan and I were available for a photo shoot. And before I even had any other information, we were both like, yes.
We were all in. Oh, of course, yeah. What? All right, yes, down, model, yes.
And then we're like, well, what is it?
we didn't even know what it was.
So it's the Florida Professional Photographers Association.
Yes.
And Scott, I forgot his last name, was running a seminar at a hotel like 15 minutes from here.
Either. Like, you're looking at me like, what is it? I'm like,
I know it's Scott. I know it's Scott something. Yeah. So they were running a seminar for a bunch of photographers and they needed models to practice on.
They were like doing lighting and different techniques and everything like that. And they needed people for the photographers to shoot after like the presentation.
Yes. So we're like, of course. And then we found out we would be doing our own hair and makeup. And there was no wardrobe.
Yeah. So we're like all excited and we're like, okay, all right. And then like as the texts are going through from the person who is arranging everything, we're like, okay, yeah. And what would you like us, like what kind of, what's the whole like premise? You know, and she's like, well,
high fashion.
She's like high fashion editorial. And we're like, oh, okay. Are you providing clothes? No, you bring them. I'm like, oh God, okay. Cause like we're in Florida and we live on the beach and we live on an island.
Yeah.
And so editorial is not really necessarily in our wardrobes. I mean, maybe like one or two, but it's mostly like beachy and floaty and airy and sexy and
short dresses.
We have like evening wear, but not editorial. We're not in New York City or anything like that. And then we're like, okay, well, what time do we need there to be there for hair and makeup? Oh no, there's no hair and makeup. We're like, okay, so editorial, doing our own hair and makeup and bringing our clothes.
And then I get there and I'm like, where do you want me to put my clothes? She's like, well, you're changing in the bathroom. And then luckily I texted with you because you're like, well, ask them if they have like a luggage valet rack.
Right.
So she got us one, which is great.
Thank God. If we didn't have that rack, we'd be totally...
Yeah, all of our stuff was just going to be on like...
Yeah, I mean, we had, like, it would have been on the bathroom floor. Ew. Not okay.
Well, not only that, we also discovered that our high fashion shoot was also going to be outside by the Holiday Inn pool.
That was just a little awkward. I mean, and quite honestly, I didn't even understand it. Like, yeah, the whole like lighting thing and that part was, I think, the weirdest part for me, honestly.
Yeah, how about I was in Louboutins, like sinking into the sand, and they're asking me to do these like poses, and I was like, I'm kind of sinking, so just hold on one second.
And in the spot too, when we were outside, I just have to say, did you notice there was like a hose in the ground, like this ugly brown hose?
He was like,
they
don't
didn't
worry,
even rake.
it's not a snake.
There was
I'm
no
like,
raking involved. There was like a hose. There was like
garden
trash.
hose.
There was like a chain link fence behind us. There were like dead palm fronds hanging from the trees. At one point, they had me like grabbing a palm frond.
Yep. I was like coming out.
Yeah, come out in the jungle. Surprise.
And I think...
Surprise. Like that meme.
Oh, surprise. I love it.
Oh my God.
One of my faves. So...
Me too.
After that, so it was 2 hours. I think what was impressive was once we started moving, and then there was one other girl there, Basha, who's one of the other girls in town that we know, and she had been there all day because she was also taking the class.
Right. She was there super early. She'd been taking the class. She's a photographer herself.
Yep.
So, but yeah, she's drop dead gorgeous.
She's
good Lord.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Amazing body.
You guys could see this killer body. I mean, she runs a pole dancing studio, and her back is probably the most ripped I've ever seen a back.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
her back's amazing.
Yeah,
back.
amazing.
Her legs, like the whole, absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
So she was there for all of it, and I think she was already like, this is like a weird operation. So I was actually impressed that it did go very quickly once we got started. And then I think my most favorite surprise was at the very end when whoever that guy was came over. And we don't even know the names of anyone. No. And he's like, I know you're going to get photos from this, but here we have something else for you.
Yeah.
And we got paid.
We actually got paid. We got a paycheck.
We got
a paycheck. Girls, let me tell you, like we went in, we were a little deflated because it was like we were changing in the bathroom, literally on the bathroom floor, trying to do our makeup, and it was like, bringing our own wardrobe, and we're like, what do we get ourselves into? It's not like we were like 15 and everything like that.
That's what you were saying.
On a Sunday,
they need to
we
find
left our families.
Yep.
We left our families for the day. Well, Jules came with us. Thank God she was there. She was holding the purse and opening the doors. But like and Sunday is kind of like family day.
Of course.
And so it's like to leave them for 3 hours. So, to get that little $50 was such a pot at the end of the rainbow. It really was.
And I've always wanted to be a model.
Me too.
So let me tell you a story. Growing up, I was young during the supermodel era, right? Cindy Crawford, Naomi Campbell, Christy Turlington, all those girls. And I was always like, I'm just not tall enough. Because back then, to be a model, like you had to be at least, I think the shortest one was Kate Moss was like 5'8" or 5'9".
Right.
And I know this because I researched this because I was like, well, I'm 5'6". Like, what can I do? And it was like a big fat 0. So I was like, oh, I'm never going to be a model. And now fast forward 25 years later, look at this. Ta-da. We're living in a world where a 5'6" girl can be a model. And then...
Okay, yeah. I love how Gina's saying that,
that I'm short.
that she's short because I'm practically a midget. I'm only 5'2". So I'm pint size, I'm fun size, but I'm only 5'2", and I always wanted to be a model too. And I remember, like, back in the day, my girlfriend and I used to take these, like, disposable cameras because I didn't want to get in trouble from my parents about taking weird pictures with, like, a camera. But I remember taking a disposable camera, and we took it out to my cabin because I grew up in Nebraska, and we had this lake, and my girlfriend and I were doing all these, like, wet poses and, like, sand poses and all this stuff. And then I went to go get it developed. And I remember my mom picked up the pictures and she opened it and she was like, this is such a waste of money. Like, why did you waste all this money on the disposable camera and then developing it for these kind of pictures? She's like, you're grounded. I think I got grounded for it. I'm like, I just want to be a model. I want to rock the runway. And
now we are. Yes, we are models. So happy to be living in a
time
where
to that.
Us short girls can be models.
We can do it. It's pretty crazy. I do have to say something though wait, I forgot to drink after we cheers.
Okay.
Hold on. As I splash it in my face. So we're outside. I'm outside. It was my last because they kind of cycled the three of us through. And for
that your last?
That was my last one. Was outside shoot. And one of the photographers was like, "Don't be scared."
What? What?
Don't be scared. Just kind of like breathe through it. Everything's gonna be fine. I was like, okay. I don't know. I guess I had a really scared look on my face.
Yeah, because you're like, is that a snake or is it a garden hose?
I was like, and I was thinking, and it was like I was hugging a tree. They had me like hugging and holding a tree at one point.
It was weird.
The palm frond, and one guy's like, one guy goes, oh, you look like you're into fitness. And I said, yeah. And he goes, well, can we do some like funky weird shots? And I was like, well, what do you want me to do? And he goes, well, what do you want to do? And I was like, I don't know, dude. Like, what the fuck? They said to us too, she said the photographers will pose you. That's part of the lesson. So I was like, wait a minute. I don't want to like take over his shoot because he's supposed to be telling me as part of their lesson that they're supposed to like tell you turn your face here.
Same. And then that's why I was kind of like, okay, well, I feel like I should be doing this, but I didn't want to just do it on my own because no one like instructed me to do it, and I didn't want to like
I'm glad you took control.
Well, there were some parts where I was like, you know what, this is no one's telling me what to do, and I'm not going to look like an idiot.
Yeah.
Okay, question.
Yes.
Not the inside the conference room one and not outside. There was like the one that was in the lobby.
Yeah, in the lobby.
Did someone hand you a lantern at some point?
No, thank God.
Oh my God, it was so embarrassing.
I saw you with the lantern. I was a little worried.
What? Someone was like, can you please pick this up and hold it? And I was like, is this okay? And then They were
Yeah.
like, pretend you're walking out of the woods.
No! You were walking. Did you have to
Horrified
swing the lantern
with
through
the
the woods
lantern. And then there was the one guy with the hands.
too? Yeah, I had him. I did have him, but you know what they had me do?
What?
I had a makeup brush because I was like, I get really shiny,
Sure.
oily skin. So I brought my makeup brush and my powder, and I had it like sitting next to my phone on the table. They're like, "Oh, is that your makeup brush?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Oh, could you just pretend to use it?" So I was like, with the makeup brush going like, here. Am I supposed to tap the powder? Like, what would you like me to do?
Things
with
got
it?
weird a
Things
bunch
got
of
a little bit
times.
weird.
So I'm glad that happened to you too, because for me, a couple of times I was like, this is really weird.
Yeah.
And then there were a few times I was like, well, where am I looking? Like, just someone
Yeah.
tell me, or I'm going to do my own thing. 'Cause
Right.
I was like, okay, am I looking here, there? I'm coming
Yeah.
out of a forest with the lantern. Bizarre.
So
It's bizarre.
like, and then something really like crazy happened. So I have a Tesla. We both have Teslas actually, and I don't know if you know anything about Tesla, but it has location on. And so the whole thing was at a Holiday Inn, or was
Yeah,
it
it's a Holiday
I
Inn.
don't even know. Some convention center at a hotel in the neighborhood, and I get my phone is like blowing up, and so Jim is like, "Where are you?" Da 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 da. So I call him and he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm just running errands." Because
Well, because you didn't tell
I didn't
him.
tell him, and like, yeah, to his defense, I did not tell him anything about the photo shoot because we are leaving for a trip tomorrow. Everything's fast, super fast paced, and I don't know. It's like sometimes when you give your husband too many details, they get like too crazy.
Well, they
and
get stressed for you
they
because
get
you take
stressed.
on what you can handle,
Yes,
and
but
then
they can't handle that.
So, but then they're stressed.
Yeah.
Which I don't
Yeah,
understand,
and
but
it's a
Anthony's like
Sunday,
that too.
And he was so busy. I was just thinking that I would float away, do my thing, and come back at the end of the day. No biggie. And I do it all the time anyway. So anyway, and I'm like, oh, I was just running errands, and he's like, oh, so you're not at a hotel?
Oh no.
I'm like, you motherfucker. What the? So
The
I don't
Tesla
know.
location services.
This location service is on a Tesla. We got to figure this one out.
I know.
Because it's not good.
It's not
I mean,
good.
clearly, I mean, hello, like I'm gonna do that.
I know.
And second of all, like, what in the world? So now I'm being, it's like a tracker.
I know.
No, thank you. Not happy.
Sorry.
Not happy.
Elon, we need Elon to.
Elon, what were you thinking? He must have really hated his ex-wife or wife, or I don't know.
Or-
Who is she?
I don't know.
Who is this guy
Wives,
that
I think.
broke his heart.
Yeah. Does he have a heart?
I don't know.
He's a robot, I thought. I always thought he was just like an alien from Mars and he's trying to get back home. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm going with.
Well, luckily I was with my girl Gina, and so that made everything better. That's
I was like, just blame me. It's
Yeah.
fine. Everyone
Yeah.
knows.
I would never blame you, but at least I could say you were my alias. As
But
always.
like, this bitch wanted a model, so I had to go and
Yes,
support.
I'm always gonna be in your corner. Always.
Thank you, baby. Well, and now we can say we're models, so that's
Yeah.
not too bad. Wait, one last thing we
Cheers
have to talk
to our new
about.
career, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just the beginning.
Fuck yeah.
Anna Winter, we're taking messages. DM us.
Yes.
You
If
can
would
find
like
us on
Yeah, we
Insta.
would like us to model for you. DM us. PM us.
We
text
actually
us.
have a lot of high fashion experience.
Well, and honestly, thanks to these 42 photographers, maybe we'll have some headshots out
I
of
think
this.
we're gonna have a lot
With
of
the
good
lantern.
pictures. That lantern is gonna be my main shot.
I can't wait to see it.
Is I'm gonna try to be on the cover of a J.K. Rowling book. The girl who lost her way.
Hello? Hello out there?
Hello?
Anyone?
Hello?
Anyone?
So Basha, who is with us, I'm looking online this morning and I'm seeing our pictures and your picture.
Oh my God, yeah.
And then I'm seeing some wet pool shots. So I guess
Some
we
really
were not
steamy wet
invited.
pool shots.
We
We're
were
like,
not
"What?"
invited to the after party.
Clearly, they did not want to see us in bikinis in the pool. They chose Basha for that one.
I don't blame them,
I don't
but
blame them either. I was a little jealous, though.
yeah, I was. I was like, what the fuck?
I would have done that.
I would have done it. I mean, we would have bitched and complained, and Jim would have been like, great, you went from the
Yes.
hotel to someone's house.
You would have followed me all the way. Where are these people?
You would have really stepped in it. But we definitely would have been there. But I guess next time,
Yeah. Because there's going to be a next time.
yes. I mean, this
This
is
is just the beginning.
Just the beginning. And follow us for more modeling tips.
Yeah. Follow us for our modeling career.
So what else have we been up to? We saw a show recently, right?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, you know that I'm a huge Derek Hough fan. I'm a huge Dancing with the Stars fan. I've seen like every Dancing with the Stars show, Derek Hough show, Max and Val show.
And you met him a couple years ago, right?
Met him. So the crazy thing is that he actually had like a residence in Vegas, right?
Okay.
At the Venetian Hotel. He had a residence. And I was like determined to go and see him. And it was like well, it was kind of in the middle of COVID, right?
Okay.
So there were still mask laws. There were still restrictions, obviously, but it was at the Venetian. And so he had this amazing package. And you could do a VIP meet and greet and a TikTok. So a bunch of us flew out to Vegas. We were just going to make like a whole weekend of it. And I accidentally, of course, me with my itchy trigger finger when it comes to order. I guess I had to order 2 of everything instead of just one. Oops. So anyway, I brought my girlfriend Wendy with me, and then there was another lady, Christine, and we did the meet and greet, and they had it with plexiglass.
Oh.
And they warned us, and then they're like, well, and then when you do the TikTok, you have to wear the mask. And they're like, do you want to just do TikTok twice? And I said, no, actually, why don't I do one and I'll give my other one to Wendy?
Sure.
And then he did one with both of us. So anyway, he was like, and I wasn't even sure with COVID and with the plexiglass if we were even going to touch each other. But he's like, okay, I'm going to come out from around the plexiglass now, and then we're going to dance. And I'm like, oh my God,
it's happening.
You're touching my hand?
It's happening.
Oh my God, it's happening. So, and it was so amazing because he was like twirling me here, twirling me there, and we like rehearsed like twice, and then we did it, and it was so fucking
He's
cool.
so
It was like he's so handsome, and he was like doing all this choreography and like dipping me, and he's like, do I know you? And I was like, not yet.
Yeah, you do now.
I'm like, just wait. I will find you.
Yeah. It's like, I'm watching you.
I'm watching you. So anyway, we did this amazing TikTok, and you could see that. But then we go into the show, and then he recognizes me in the audience because I was like in the second row or something like that, and he called me up on stage for that jumpy thing that he just did.
Yeah.
So I was the one in the back that he pushes off.
Yeah.
So he's like again touching me, and I'm like, oh, please don't do that. This is like, he's touching me. And so he does this thing on stage where he sets up like 4 or 5 people, and then you're standing in a lineup, and then he jumps over all of you.
Which
like
is
he comes
insane.
It's insane.
Because he barely touches that last person.
Yeah,
It's
and
like a...
I'm only 5'2", but there's other people that are way taller.
Yeah.
Like it's not like he's like jumping 3 feet. He's jumping like 6 feet over.
Yeah, because he's clearing you by
He's clearing
a bit.
us by a lot. Yeah. I mean, I don't even think like my hair blew or anything like that. That's how high up he is. But it's amazing. So we got to do that. I have it all on film. And it's on my TikTok, it's on my Instagram, it's on everything, because I was like, I'm never letting this moment go. And then I even got a Zoom call with him afterwards.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Isn't it awesome? So he even had a Zoom call with us for 20 minutes. I'm just really disappointed in myself because you know how like you can record Zooms?
Sure.
I didn't even hit record. Like, what was I thinking? I'm such an idiot. Because it was actually a really fun thing. Like there was 5 other people on the Zoom.
Yeah.
And he was asking us questions, and then he said, you all get a question, and it was just really, he's like a super amazing human. It's really super.
I love him.
So we went to the show. I'm sorry, I keep cutting you off. So anyway,
No, you're
we
good.
go to the show.
So there was a show in Melbourne, right here where we live. So I was also a huge fan of Dancing with the Stars, and I know Jules loves anything, any type of show, theater, singing, the whole thing. And it turns out he sings, which I had no idea.
Yeah, multi-talent for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So we
Sings
saw
and
the
plays
show.
Instruments
Yes, he was playing the guitar, right?
and drums. The guitar, drums. I think he plays like 7 instruments though. It's nuts.
So to be able to see him here at the King Center, which is like 10 minutes away, was amazing. So we got awesome seats, went to go see him, and surprise, surprise, he and his wife, Haley was back on stage for the first time since her brain bleed, right?
Yeah.
4 months ago. And I had no idea that she was going to be performing because I knew she was recovering and I didn't know she was going to be back.
I mean, honestly, if someone has, you know, that kind of injury, and then they took part of her skull out,
Yes.
I guess, and they put a plate in
Yep.
in place of the skull. When someone has that kind of injury, like, are they? You question, are they ever gonna be able to dance at that caliber again? Because it's not like she's dancing. I mean, she's flipping, she's turning, she's going
yeah.
upside down, she's being swung around, she's being like.
It's like a gymnast, right? You're not.
She's a gymnast.
Yeah.
And it's just absolutely amazing that she athletically, after 4 months, got back to that level.
And she was phenomenal, and it was so emotional and so real.
Yes.
And to have been a part of that in the audience was like super special.
It was special. I think they had everybody crying because, so like in the last number when he said that, you know, back in December, 4 months ago when it happened, they were actually on stage during that number.
Yep.
She had to leave the stage because she was disoriented.
Sure.
And they rushed her to the hospital even before the show ended. Like, he wasn't even off the stage when they rushed her to the hospital, which is so crazy. Thank God they had a medical team like that on hand, you know? But anyway, so because they didn't finish that number, that they then, for the first time, because Melbourne, our little town, our teeny tiny town, was the first one that got to see this show, the revival, right?
Yep.
And so it was just so emotional because she didn't make it through the performance, and then to come back and bounce back from that.
Ooh, I have chills. Absolutely amazing.
It was chilling. And so then I saw it again on Saturday, and it was actually a different show because it was still emotional, but it wasn't. Like,
It wasn't the same.
We were so lucky
Unbelievable
that we got to see that because it was just a different vibe, and it was like, it wasn't just the show, it was, I don't know, part of the recovery.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It was actually like part of
It was
the,
like processing
Yes.
trauma, and
Yes.
it was, really huge,
Powerful.
and it was powerful, exactly.
yeah, super, super powerful.
Get it, get it, get it, get it. Ow, ow, ow. Show them, girl. Yeah. Boom, boom, bow, bow. Boom, 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 bow. Bow, 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 boom.